Okay. Now we'll see how do we launch this auto scaling group. On the last class, have we discussed about auto scaling group or load balancer? Which one we discussed? I think we discussed about the auto scaling group, right?
Yes.
Now we need to discuss about load balancer. So go to load balancer. This is how you create load balancer. Click on create load balancer. Now here, as I told you, there are three different types of load balancer. Application load balancer that deals with HTTP and HTTPS protocol, and network load balancer, TCP load balancer. It deviates the traffic of only TCP, and classic load balancer. It's an assume that you have running application on EC2 classic network. Then in this scenario, you'll go with classic load balancer. Deal with both HTTP and HTTPS and TCP. It's like a hybrid kind of load balancer between these two. Now in this scenario, we'll deal with application load balancer. Click on create. Now you have to name your load balancer. I'll name it as my web server LB load balancer. Now here you have to choose whether it is internet facing load balancer, internal facing load balancer. In the diagram I have told you this load balancer is internet facing load balancer. This is internal because it is kept within between your web server and the application server, not facing directly to the customers or internet. Choose anyone. Okay, I have gone with the internet facing load balancer. Next, choose the IP address type. Always keep IPv4. Listeners, on the internet side, this load balancer, what exactly on which port number it has to listen. If it has to listen HTTP connections on port number 80, kept it. Or if you want to change the port number 80 to something other, you can even change, customize your port numbers also. Or if you want to add one more listener like HTTP and HTTPS, yeah, you can add both. Okay, now this load balancer, whatever you're creating, will listen both HTTP and HTTPS connections from the clients. And on which region, see, we have right now connected to, we are trying to create a load balancer in Mumbai region. Okay, do you want to scale this load balancer on both these regions, I mean zones of AWS? See, first you have to select in which VPC you're trying to create this load balancer. If it default, do you want to restrict only the load balancer to availability zone A? Then you just click mark A. Or if you want to keep the load balancer to divide the traffic, some instances on availability zone A and to some other instances on availability zone B, then you have to select here both. Because this Mumbai region has two availability zones, here he listed all the availability zones and he is giving us an option, hey, whether you want to deviate the load on both the availability zone instances or what, like that he is asking. Next, tags, you know that tags is for our remembrance. I can name it as name LB something. Now server certification. I told you On the last class, if you're dealing with HTTPS load balancer, okay, you can place your certificate. See, for example, this website, Amazon website, has here, you can see the secure connection. It is dealing with HTTPS. One way is you can place your certificate, HTTPS certificate and everything at load balancer only, and you can encrypt this data between this load balancer and customer. Okay, here you can encrypt the data by placing your certificates encryption model at load balancer only. If for doing that, you have to upload your private and public keys. You have to upload your SSL key certificate. That's what he's asking. He's saying, hey, if you don't have any certificate type, if you want to create one certificate type, or if you have a certificate type of ACM is a recommended certificate type of AWS, upload it. Or if you have a different certificate from some other vendors, you can choose. Or from AWS IAM service, you can create a certificate and you can choose from one from here. Or if you already have an created certificate from IAM, you just upload that certificate. This is what he's saying. This is the 4 options. I don't want to go with this. Create load balancer, create HTTPS, name test case, I'll name it. Internet facing, listeners only, I'll keep HTTP. And yes, I want to scale on both regions. Your load balancer is not using HTTP. Okay, no problem. Go ahead. Now configure the security group. You can create a new security group for your load balancer, which connections to allow, which not to allow. You can attach this load balancer to any one of the security groups already there. It's up to you. What I prefer is I always attach my load balancer to the VPC's default security group. Now, how do you want to route this load balancer incoming traffic? For doing that, you have to create a target group. Target group is nothing but, I'll tell you. You have to create a target group and you have to add all these instances into the target group to which the load balancer has to divide the traffic. Now what I'll do, I'll create one target group and I'll attach these 4 instances to the target group so that my elastic load balancer will always try to divide the traffic between these 4 instances. So we have to name the target group name like test target, protocol port number the same, and type is instances. Health check. Do you want to perform the health checks on the, see, if you are trying to divide the traffic to HTTPS, it means that on that web server you'll have the website is running on HTTP protocol. So always whenever you say this slash means index.html, this load balancer always try to load this index.html file of your website. Here you have to specify the time interval, like assume that I'm giving threshold 5 times, if for healthy threshold, for unhealthy threshold 2 times. Timeout is 5 seconds, okay, and interval every 30. Guys, every, for what this represents is your elastic load balancer will perform a health check on this web server instances, not on the directly instances. It performs a health checkup on slash index.html page of your web server's website. Okay, for every 30 seconds of interval, okay, it tries to load the page index.html. If for first 5 times, if it is continuously loading and it is successful, it will say, hey, your web server is healthy and good. Now your elastic load balancer will divide the traffic to that healthy web server. If 2 times also continuously 2 times, if it does fail to load that index.html web server's website, then it will say, then this elastic load balancer will consider, oh, there is a problem with this web server, it is not loading. the website index.html page of that website. So what I'll do, it will not deviate the traffic to that particular web server. It will start deviating the traffic to the other web server. And here success code is 200. 200 means for loading HTTP, you'll have HTTP error codes. Okay. On HTTP error codes, 200 means everything is okay, status okay. HTTP error, it's not error. I'll say HTTP status 200 meaning everything is okay. That's what it says. HTTP 200 implies that response contains a payable that represents status of the request. Blah, blah, blah. It means that everything is website is loading. It means 200. Now for that particular target you created, what instances you would like to attach. Here you can select the instances that you want to attach to the target. Right now in Mumbai region I don't have any instances running. That's the reason it is not showing any instances here. No instances are available. If there are running instances, it will show all the running instances. Here you have to check mark to which particular instances you want to divide the traffic. Okay. This is how you create a load balancer. Now we created one load balancer. We don't have any instances. It's still in the provisioning mode. The state is still providing. In which VPC you created. What are the availability zones that are attached to this load balancer? What is the type of load balancer? When it is created? This monitoring is enabled on the load balancer. Yes. What are the listeners? This is the basic configuration. Load balancer name. This is the ARN. I told you ARN means Amazon resource name that is given by AWS to the resources of AWS. That is a unique name. Okay. Created time. Which security group are you attached? Any edit? If you want to edit further, you can edit the security group rules. Health checkup things, attributes you have given. Listeners. This load balancer returns only on port number 80. And it will forward the traffic to test target group. In test target group, what are this? You can see that what are the target groups you can create from here. On the left side, if you go to target groups, this is what the target group we created, test target. If you click on the test target group, here you can see on this target group, what are the targets you attached? Nothing. No instances are attached because we don't have any instances on the region. That's what I said. If you have, you can attach that instances. It is like you create a load balancer and you divide the traffic to the target groups. Target group consists the real instances list and everything. So any doubts on this topic, guys? Okay. Now how do we delete this load balancer? Target group, just select the target group. Actions, delete, yes. Actions, delete. Now it will say this target group is attached to one of the load balancer. First you remove that and now you can remove the target group. So I'll go to load balancer, action, delete load balancer, yes, and then try to remove this target group. This is how you delete and create the target groups and load balancers on this EC2 load balancing service of AWS. Okay. Guys, did I told you about the pricing model of AWS on EC2 instances? How it charges per hour basis, reserved instances. Amazon charges the resources, particularly EC2, on on-demand basis. It means per hour. You can see if I launch Linux instance in Singapore, okay, T2.micro, he'll charge you per hour 0.0146 per hour. This is how you can see the pricing and overview of pricing. If you go for RHEL, again the prices changes for the different things, different prices. This is for on demand, 1 hour basis. What if you want to go for reserved? There are different pricing models with Amazon. One is on demand pricing, reserved pricing, spot instance pricing. On demand, you pay on hour basis. On reserved pricing, you can reserve your instance type for 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year. AWS reserved pricing. So what happens, as how long you reserve that particular instance type, that much amount will be reduced. The percentage of overall percentage of that amount when compared with on demand is reduced. Here you can see, I'll talk about one instance type T2.nano. If I run this instance type T2.nano per hour, he will charge me 0.0073 per hour. Or I'll take big size instance type, not T2.nano. We'll talk about something big. T2.micro also not. T2.small, no. We'll talk about more. Very big size. T2.large. For T2.large, Amazon is charging 0.1168 per hour dollars. Now, if I reserve that for 1 year, okay, Amazon will charge only, okay, 0.0073 per hour. When if I pay all the 1 year amount on monthly basis, monthly $53 I have to pay it. For 1 year it's like 12 months. For 12 months I have to pay monthly $53. Then Amazon will charge 0.073. If I pay half of the amount now before starting this, and remaining half amount in 12 months, $25 per 26, then it will charge, it is giving me a discount of 41%. Okay, here you can see under this discount I am charging my instance, Amazon is charging my instance only $0.069, $0.003 less than this, no upfront, because I have paid already some amount, half of the amount before I am using that instances, right? If I pay all upfront means before, now only I'll pay entire amount, 1 year amount, then he's giving a very high discount, 42% discount. I'm just charging my instance only $0.068 per hour. This is how, this is for 1 year. If you reserve the same instance for 2 years, sorry, for 3 years, here you can see the differences. For 1 year, he is charging this much. For no upfront 58, you can go up to 63% of discount per hour if you reserve it for 3 years. If you reserve for 1 year, here you can see you can go up to maximum 42% of discount. So the much long time period you reserve, the high percentage amount will decrease, and the payment model, depending upon the payment option also, whether you want to pay him all upfront or partial upfront or no upfront. All upfront means you give all your 12 months of amount or 3 years of amount now itself and you reserve. Or partial upfront means you give half of the amount now and the remaining half amount in divided by that reserved period months. No upfront. No, I don't give any amount now. I don't have any amount, but I'll reserve the instance for 1 year and I'll give it in monthly basis. This is no upfront. So any doubts on this, guys? Pricing model. Nagaraju, which is the best if I want to get the maximum highest discount? Which pricing model I'll choose?
I think no, bro.
Hmm?
No, no friend.
No, no upfront. Here you are paying, you're getting only 29% discount. No, no upfront. What you do, you pay, you reserve, and you pay for monthly basis. If you pay all amount now itself, all upfront, he's giving a highest discount, like 0. Here you can see 33% of discount he has given. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, bro.
the best pricing model if you want to get the highest discount is reserve your instance for 1 year or 3 years and pay your amount in all upfront model. Okay, and the
Okay, bro.
least pricing discount, you don't get any discount, is on demand. Okay, this is what the difference between on demand pricing and reserved pricing. And what about the spot instance pricing is,
Okay,
some guys what they do, they reserve the instance for 3 years or 1 year and they power off it. They don't utilize it. Amazon here in pricing model, reserved pricing model, Amazon what will do, even though the state of instance after reserving it is power on or power off, he will charge you. So for some people what they do, they pay all the amount and they'll power off the instance. In if that power of the instance, if there are some power of the instance like that instances Amazon finds, it will give those instances to other people for running. Okay, under a different category called spot instance pricing. Under this, what you can do, spot instance pricing, you can bid. You have to make a bidding. Bidding means what? Vellampata. Okay, you have to bid the instance price and you have to purchase it. After purchasing that instance type, if you are running, whenever the owner of that particular instance power ons that instance, whoever bid and whoever running that instance, his instance will go without informing anything. It will power off and it will given back. That compute is given back to the owner. The spot instance pricing is very cheaper when compared with on demand and reserved pricing. We usually use spot instances for testing on fly. Testing on fly means I require some instance just for 10 minutes for testing or 1 hour for testing. In that scenarios, I'll use the spot instance pricing, spot instance model. Because I don't know when my instance goes off on spot instance model. AWS spot instance pricing. Spot instance pricings are available at a discount up to 90% compared to on-demand pricing. But we don't know when this instance goes off. With spot instance, you pay the spot price that's effect for a time period your instance are running. So spot instance prices are set by Amazon EC2 and adjustably gradually based on long-term trends in supply. Okay, this is what the spot instance. The T2.micro 0.04 dollar per Linux instance in these regions. So you can see the spot instance pricing that is set by Amazon. So any doubts on this today's topic, guys? We have seen how do we create a load balancer. We've spoken about one of the architect diagram, e-commerce website, and the pricing model of AWS. Okay, that's it for today. And on tomorrow's class, we'll speak about the other AWS service. Uh, what do we speak? Glacier. We'll speak about Glacier service of AWS. Okay. Thank you and have a nice day. Bye bye.